time is now. I can't contain myself. I've never felt so.
Yo, what's happening? It's Coach Brandon, Alpha Physique Fitness. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you everything that you need to know about how to properly execute on your back exercises. So how to get the best bang for your buck with your back training. Okay, so I'll be showing you my current 4 favorite back exercises. I'll be showing you, talking about why they're my favorites and how to get the most out of them. You're also going to learn why I never do pull-ups, well, very rarely do pull-ups, and why I think that they are overrated. So if you want to learn how to train the right way to build a thick, wide, and defined back, make sure to watch right to the end of this video, and as usual, give it your full attention and focus, all right? And then just a real quick reminder before we get into it, my coaching program, Alpha Lean Mastery, is open for new applicants. So if you are ready to go all in and fully commit to reaching your peak level of leanness and build a defined and muscular physique and get into the best shape of your life in the next couple of months, click the link below this video in the description and fill out your application. All right. So that being said, let's dive in. So the mistake that most guys make who watch videos like this to learn how to do exercises properly is they end up worrying too much about how the exercise looks like in the mirror and like different cues and stuff, when in reality what you really should be thinking about and what your main cues should be centered around to get the most out of any of your exercises is the simplest way to get a fully loaded stretch across your muscle, because that's an important part of every exercise, and then a full contraction, obviously, right? And then how to keep tension across your muscle for the full set. So not just when you're contracting, but at every rep, you want tension on your muscles. You don't want to be taking breaks at the bottom, taking breaks at the top, that kind of thing. If your goal is hypertrophy, you want as much time under tension as possible. Within reason. I'm not a big fan of like doing long negatives or anything like that, but slow and controlled on every rep and making sure that you have tension, okay? So the best way to think about this and the best mindset to get into and the best way to figure out how to do this with every muscle is finding out exactly where on your body your muscles' attachment points are, okay? So in this case with back, for example, the main muscle that we're working with your back is your lats, right? And when we look at where the lat muscles attachment points are, it's on your upper arm bone, so the top of your upper arm bone just next to your shoulder, and along the bottom 2/3 of your spine. So instead of just simply thinking about pulling, and like if you watch other exercise videos with like say rows, for example, like thinking about all my elbows need to come just parallel to my back, that kind of thing. What you want to do instead is not worry about any of that and how it looks. And what you want to do is you want to imagine while you're doing your exercises and with your back exercises in this example, is pulling your attachment points as far apart as possible while your muscle is engaged and you're in control to get your fully loaded stretch. And then you want to pull these attachment points as close together as possible to get your full contraction. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to do this using some footage of me doing my 4 favorite back exercises as of right now. And before we get into it, what I want to add when it comes to back exercises is I like to use straps. So all of my back exercises, I use straps because what straps allow you to do is eliminate as much of your biceps and your forearms out of the movement as possible, which helps you improve your focus on getting that fully loaded stretch and contraction just across your lats, okay? So when it comes to training your back, there's also 2 different categories of movements that you can do. One is a horizontal pull, or one is a vertical pull. Now, it's important to split up both horizontal and vertical pulls into your back training evenly for best results. Okay, so the first exercise that I'm going to show you is single arm dumbbell rows. Now, the reason that I love these for lats is because you can get in a great position, like the position that I'm in this shot that you're watching right now, to get that full stretch and nice, clean, full contraction across the lat. And thinking back to our picture of the lat and seeing where the lat's attachment points are, I like to get into a position where I'm on an angle to the floor, right? So not bent over on a flat bench like most generic exercise videos will show you, but I like to be on an angle like this so I can really drive that upper arm bone insertion point across to the top part of my spine where the lat inserts, and then down into the bottom of that insertion point. All right. And being in this position really helps me do that. I feel a way better contraction. So give this a try. Play with the angle. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can flip a bench set on incline around and put your knee on the seat and then your arm on the top, or just do it like I'm doing it in this video, the way I prefer. So when you do this, another important thing to consider is that your muscle fibers pull together to contract. So they're scrunching up, right? So that being said, you want to imagine this and you want to start the motion just by squeezing your lats. So the first thing you want to imagine is your lats scrunching up, right? Your muscles scrunching up. And you want to you want to avoid using your biceps and your shoulders, so your rear delts, to get the weight moving, right? And keep your lat contracted the whole time, like I was mentioning earlier. So no break at the bottom, instead of keeping your lat engaged throughout the entire set. Okay, so that's the first exercise. The second exercise here is the 2-arm dumbbell row. Now, the reason that I love 2-arm dumbbell rows and I love to mix it in on top of just normal barbell rows is because you get that extra freedom with your arms, right? And you can move your arms side to side, whether in comparison to with a bar, you can't move your arms really side to side, right? They're in a fixed position, which is great when, again, you think back to that photo that shows where your lats attachment points are, because not only do you want to pull back, but you also want to pull your elbows in toward the midpoint of your body at your peak contraction, right? And using dumbbells makes that a little bit easier. It gives you a little bit more freedom to do that, okay? So the third exercise is our classic just barbell row. Okay, so with the barbell row, same idea as with the dumbbell row. We're going for a nice full stretch, and then I'm pulling the bar to just below my belly button and almost sliding it along my quads. And I'm trying to stop at the top at the peak contraction and let the bar down as slowly as possible to keep tension on my lats and keep my lats engaged, right? You don't want gravity doing any of the work for you. You want to be fighting against gravity as soon as you start letting that bar drop, right? So that's especially considering the fact that the negative, so the way down when your muscle is in the process of stretching, that is where your muscle is the strongest and where you're going to inflict the most micro damage, which is what leads to muscle growth, right? Okay. And lastly, we're going to end with a pull-up, a pull exercise. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I think pull-ups are overrated. And what I mean when I say that, and the reason being, is because almost nobody, including me, is strong enough to get more than 10 quality reps of pull-ups in unweighted, okay, or unassisted. And when I say quality reps, what I mean is what you're seeing with these assisted pull-ups that I'm doing. So at the bottom, I'm getting a full stretch. My arms are fully extended, because if they're not, you're not getting that full loaded stretch and you're not getting the full bang for your buck, right? And the second reason I love doing these assisted, and I rarely do them not assisted, is so I can pull my face all the way in nice and hard toward where my hands are and where the bar is, right? And I can hold there. And then I come down nice and slow, keeping tension on my lats. So just notice how I start with my hands directly under my head. And then as I pull, my body comes out. So I'm not going straight up, right? My body comes out, and then I pull it back in at the top again, right? So it's like a bow-shaped motion, not just strictly up and down vertically. So that's it. At the end of the day, with your back training, remember, think about bringing your attachment points as far apart as possible for the stretch. and then as close as possible again for the full contraction, right? So keep tension on your lats for the entire movement, no breaks at the bottom, keep it slow and controlled, and use a full range of motion. Okay, next time you train back, remember these cues, give them a try. And on that, real quick before we wrap this video up, information without action is useless. So if you've been watching videos like this and you've been doing research, and when you're honest with yourself, when you're totally honest with yourself, you know you're not implementing what you learn very consistently, or you are just confused on how to put it all together. Alpha Lean Mastery is currently open for new applicants. So if you're ready to go all in and fully commit to reaching your peak level of leanness to build a defined and muscular physique, click the link in the description below this video, fill out your application, and we'll put together a step-by-step plan to get you implementing consistently to get into the best shape of your life in the next couple of months. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you catch the next video, and leave a comment if you would like, telling me what you thought and what kind of videos you would like to see more of. And at that, we'll see you in the next.
Time